You Sony fanboys, you need to apologize to world-class veteran video game critic Michael Does Life, because you see, you were wrong. You were wrong. And I, as usual, I was right. I was right. The PlayStation 5, a huge, colossal failure. I mean, that design is terrible. But more importantly, an all-digital edition? Didn't you Sony fanboys give Xbox flack for doing that just about a year or so ago? But now, since Sony does it, oh, it's perfect, Michael. This makes a lot of sense, and it's optional. You Sony fanboys, you need a reality check. And I hope you consider calling Dr. Phil, because believe me, you need therapy. So, look, we now turn our sights to The Last of Us Part 2, and this is another huge, colossal failure in the making. Now, with that said, I want to give you some straight-up fact. The Last of Us Part 2 will be the fastest-selling PlayStation 4 video game of all time. I want to say also that The Last of Us Part 2 is going to be the highest-rated PlayStation 4 video game of all time. Now, the funny thing about that is that doesn't necessarily mean that it is quality. Just because 100 people within the games industry think it's unbelievably amazing, well, there might be 100 people over here that might say otherwise, okay? And sales obviously don't dictate quality, because if that were the case, if that were the logic here, okay, that could be applied to anything. Like, for example, Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber sells a lot of records, and I know you Sony fanboys like, Justin Bieber, no, we like that metal. You know, that sort of thing. So... Look, I'm a gameplay guy. I don't like movie games, and I don't know why in the hell I bought this fucking console up here, the PS4. But, in terms of gameplay, quite clearly, the lazy millennial devs over at Naughty Dog, and I know you guys, by the way, like Neil Druckmann. You want to get in bed with Neil Druckmann, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I think he's attractive too, but I know he's your guy, especially over at V. They love to shill Neil Druckmann, but because they're Sony fanboys. But as a gameplay guy, The Last of Us Part 2 ultimately brought nothing new to the table. They only added in a few new things, like, oh, you can crouch now, or crawl, I should say, and you can jump, and you can dodge, and, maybe a few other things here and there, but that's all they brought to the table. That's it. And you Sony fanboys are like, oh, Michael, come on, shut it down, and you'll realize that if you're a Sony fanboy, well, you're a part of the losers club. And how does it feel to be a part of the losers? How does it feel to lose and lose and lose and lose and lose on a daily basis? It must be incredibly sad.